If you bought something from the store and were injured by it, do you have any legal recourse? Product liability is a legal principle that holds manufacturers, distributors, and sellers accountable for defects in the products they make or sell. But what exactly does that mean? And how does it impact you as a consumer, or even as a business? My name is Megan Shaw, and I'm a personal injury attorney with Parrish and Goodman. We help people all throughout the state of Florida receive compensation for injuries they received through no fault of their own. When you purchase a product, you have the right to expect that it's safe to use as intended. Product liability laws ensure that if something goes wrong and you're injured due to a defect in the product, you may be able to hold the responsible party liable. There are three main types of product defects that can lead to liability: design defects, manufacturing defects, and failure to warn. A design defect occurs when the product is inherently dangerous due to how it's designed. Even if it were made perfectly according to its design, it still poses an unreasonable risk. Think of a car that's prone to tipping over in sharp turns. No matter how well it's made, the design itself is still flawed. Manufacturing defects happen during the production process. The product design might be safe, but something went wrong while making it. Maybe a batch of toys has loose parts that could be swallowed by children, even though the original design didn't account for that hazard. The third type is failure to warn. If a product has potential dangers that aren't obvious to the user, the manufacturer must provide adequate warnings or instructions. For example, if a chemical cleaner is harmful when inhaled, the label must clearly state that. But here's the catch. Not every accident leads to liability. The injured person must show that the product was being used as intended or in a reasonably foreseeable way. If you misuse a product in a way that the manufacturer couldn't anticipate, you may not have a claim. It's also important to understand the role of the chain of distribution. In a product liability case, anyone in the product's journey from manufacturer to retailer could be held liable. That's because every party in that chain is responsible for ensuring the product is safe by the time it reaches the consumer. However, there's another side to this. As a consumer, you have a responsibility too. You're expected to follow the product's instructions and warnings carefully. If you ignore safety guidelines or alter the product in a way that causes injury, the liability could shift to you. Meet Mark. Mark was a client of mine that purchased a very popular energy drink from a local store. But when Mark opened the energy drink and consumed it, the drink still felt heavy. So he cut the can open and found a dead mouse inside. To Mark's horror, he immediately started vomiting, went to the hospital. He was terrified that he received some sort of illness or disease from this dead mouse. Thankfully, Mark was okay, but he did have damages from the injury he suffered and the hospital visit. Obviously, when you buy a drink, you don't expect anything but the actual drink to be inside of the can. When bringing the case for Mark, we had to account for everywhere that can went from the time that it was made until the time he purchased it. Ultimately, the case resolved out of court and Mark was compensated for his injuries. To sum it up, product liability is about protecting consumers from harm caused by defective products while ensuring businesses take responsibility for the safety of what they make and sell. By understanding your rights and responsibilities, you can help prevent accidents and know where liability lies when things do go wrong. If you were injured by something you purchased, you have rights. Schedule a time to meet with our team to review your case and get all of your options. There is no cost for speaking to us, and if we cannot win your case, we will tell you up front. If the case has merit, we will take it on, but if it doesn't, we won't. Contact Parrish and Goodman today.